I believe. I know you've been busy at school and busy with the match, but what have the last few weeks been like for you?
It's been very fulfilling. I feel like I've been able to have a lot of closer relationships with my non-golf friends, and I've been having a good time there. But as for the lack of sleep and the constant grinding in school, it hasn't been easy. I would argue that it's tested me in ways that golf couldn't test me. But I'm very glad for the experience. Today is going to be the last day of whatever I have to do. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, I can get it going and go back into the professional golf mindset.
All right. With that, this is also the first time we've seen you tee it up since the match, which was also with Lexi and some members of the PGA Tour. For you, what was that experience like overall? And kind of when you walked away from that, how did you feel? What were some of the things that people said to you that were able to tune in?
It was incredible. Definitely outside of my comfort zone. I feel like anyone that knows me, I'm not a super outgoing, outspoken person, but at the same time, I was able to kind of just have a good time learning from Rory, Max, Lexi, and the entire time I felt like it was a whirlwind simply because not only were there a lot of crowds there, night golf is something that I've never really done before, and when Charles Barkley is in your ear, it's a little bit different. I've got 10 voices in my ear just going back and forth about random things, and yeah, I mean, I had to be tested in that area, but at the same time, I got such good feedback, and it was such an honor to be a part of that development of women's golf, and now LPGA is a little bit more on the map, not just because of me, but I'm very thankful that I was able to have that platform.
Coming back to Palos Verdes Golf Club, you've been here. You've done pretty well here back in your collegiate days. What's it like to be back here in a professional standpoint and also to kind of get back under that golfer grind that you talked about?
Yeah, it's definitely a little different. Last time I was here was last year, and I was with my teammates. We were playing for a little bit of a different reason. So representing the university versus me now as a professional coming here, it does feel a little bit different, but at the same time, it's really nice to come back with such good memories of the golf course. And I think just going out there, having that same game plan, it's playing a little bit different from last year. So for me to come out here and see the golf course a little bit more and making sure I have that game plan intact, it'll help me with that grind in the next couple days.
And before I open it up to behind me, if there's anyone also in the Zoom who would like to ask a question, please let me know so we know to unmute you. But obviously, SERI PAK with her name behind this tournament. It's the first time she's hosting. We've seen Michelle Wee West be a host of Mizuho. We've seen Annika be host of the Annika. For you as one of the younger players on tour, what does it mean to see someone's name like SERI PAK host an LPGA Tour event?
It's very inspiring, especially with SERI PAK and her ability to bring golf to such a different level, especially in Korea, but also worldwide, in amongst all the women and female athletes. She's definitely someone that everyone looks up to, not just from her accolades, but even with this event, she's inspiring younger generations like myself to be able to push ourselves and hopefully do something more later on with our golf careers. And for her to be able to host such a big event like this, it's definitely really, really cool to see.
All right, we'll open it back here. Ken?
Rose, you mentioned today's the last day before adjusting back. Can you walk through what you have left to do and then the challenge of adjusting back to the professional golf world?
100%. Well, after this press conference at around 2, I have my final exam. And it's going to be for media psych, it was a very interesting class. I had a lot of fun with it, but I still have to finish that exam. And I also have a 15-page paper that's due tonight for a political science class. And that class is a little bit more niche, so it requires a lot more research and reading and integration of real life context versus the context that we learned in class. So it's a little bit more difficult there. But after these are done, I'll be golden for the next couple days and going forward until I come back to winter quarter next year. Yeah.
What's your energy level like from 0 to 100 right now?
I'll say it's definitely below 50%. But yeah, I've been trying to recover from a really bad flu. In the last 2 days, I've been a little bedridden, but we're out here thriving. I think a lot of the stress has come onto me, especially this week. It's finals week. Everyone's dying back at Stanford as well. All my friends are just going through it. So once this kind of quarter wraps up, everyone's going to be having a good time afterwards.
I think a theme of your press conferences, Rose, has generally been how busy you are. Is that something you enjoy, being this busy?
I do think that there's a balance that's required to be busy versus efficient and well-rested. I still have yet to kind of find that balance a little bit more, but I think I do appreciate a lot of obstacles that come my way where I can be tested, but I do see the trend quite a bit. I think it's something that I will be having to manage a little bit better.
Now you got your test at 2. Do you need to cram for that at all after this press conference? And how many pages are left in your paper?
Pages, I've got 3 to 4 pages, and then it's okay. We'll be fine. I have an outline. We'll figure out how to cram in everything else. But as for the exam, it's not as bad. It's open note, so hopefully that saves me a little bit more.
Gotta love those open note exams. For you, maybe does being back on the golf course kind of feel like an escape from some of the stress of school? And I know you've balanced all of this when you were at Stanford full time. Do you feel like you're relying on that experience too?
A little bit. I do think that coming out here, I think it's important for me to understand that I'm now the professional golfer in my life, and being out here, it's definitely going to, at least for me, I have high standards towards how I want to play. So I won't say it's an exact escape from what I want to accomplish and my obligations as now a tour player. But I do think it is using a different part of my brain and testing myself in different ways. So to some extent, it is nice to be a little bit away from school and not having to worry about exams full-fledgedly.
You said at the Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions that you felt that you kind of were stagnant last year, which I thought was a very interesting comment to make considering all you accomplished, but it's neither here nor there. But for you, do you feel less that way so far this year, or you just kind of been stuck in the school rut?
That's a good question. I think that in terms of me being stagnant, I believe that the next couple events that I'm going to be playing in will really kind of tell how I am feeling mentally, physically, and how I'm able to perform. But I am thinking that I've taken my time to realize where I'm stagnant in and build my team, build myself around that. So slowly, I think I'm getting out of the stagnant kind of era, and it doesn't matter how I perform, but I do think that I am trending towards the right direction and how I want to do things later on and going throughout the year.
And then just finally for me, and this time last year, you were in a totally different plane of life. can you just reflect on how much your life has changed and how crazy this past year has been? I mean, we're coming up on the Mizuho victory, the anniversary of that. But for you, did you just look back and sit down and go, dang, this has been crazy this last 365 days?
It's interesting because it's a little bit difficult to think about that, especially when I do have so much on my plate. I do have people around me who have really told me that, and when I am kind of in a rush to complete things and in a rush in life, they tell me to settle down. And one person that really helped me in that area was actually Coach Walker when I was back at Stanford. She was just telling me that I needed to be a little more kind to myself and really realize the big transition that I made from last year to this year. So with that in mind, it's still something that I'm working on, and I do appreciate like everyone that's been involved to help me with this transition. It's still ongoing in terms of how I am dealing with everything.
Rose, so as a LPGA professional, I'm extremely fascinated by the fact that you have been able to catapult yourself into the professional world while you're still a college student. So I would love the secrets. What is it about you that makes you so far above and beyond any other student of your age that's playing golf? How did you manage to become, is it like your game is ahead of everybody else? Is it the supports? Is it your coaches? What made you so good so fast?
I would say, yes, you touched on a really important part of my life is the support system that I have around me. I have really good coaches, really good mentors, a good family, and they've definitely elevated me as a person. And in transition, being able to take that onto the golf course and try my best is something that I've been able to handle a lot better than a lot of people that I see when I'm playing against them in collegiate events and whatnot. But I think that I just have a really important sense of my own faith and mindset towards different things and towards life in general. And being able to build upon that, I'm able to put my whole efforts into whatever I do, whether it's in school, in practice, in golf. And I think that really just helps me to be the best player that I can be. But it's important to be competitive, and overall faith, competitiveness, and support systems, these all helped me.
So 2 other quick questions.
Can we just limit it to one if that's okay? She's got to get off to her exam. And I got one more person on the Zoom. No, that's okay. If it's okay, I would like to. Sorry. Beth Ann, could you please unmute yourself?
Yes. Hello. Hi, Rose.
Hello.
I have 2 questions, if I may. I'm curious about practice. Were you able to hang out with your old Stanford teammates at all? And what was your practice schedule like leading up to this week?
I was able to hang out with my old Stanford teammates a little bit. I would say less on the golf course, and even less in actual school, just because they're super busy, and I realized how busy the collegiate schedule is in general. They still have workouts and they still have team practices, playing tournaments. So I do try to get out of their hairs a little bit. And in terms of practice in general, it's been a little bit difficult. I think that I've realized balancing 20 units in the 10 weeks have not been super easy, and I've had to time manage myself a little bit better while it was my off season. So I was able to kind of have a life outside of golf, school, but it's, I've given and taken a little bit of practice time to do so.
All right.
Could I just, my last one?
Yeah, you're fine.
please?
I'm sorry. I thought that was it. I apologize.
Sorry. And was there ever a point where you've thought to yourself, maybe I shouldn't go back for another quarter?
I mean, I'm pretty excited to come back out here, to be fair. After, actually, school stresses me out a little bit more than golf does. But I have considered taking online classes while I'm here on tour. So that's a to be determined plan. But as of now, I'm trying to figure out, or at least taking the spring quarter off, and then we'll evaluate what I do in fall.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beth Ann. Thank you, Rose. Have a wonderful rest of your week and good luck on your exam. All right. We'll switch them out.
Thanks, Rose.
Good luck.
Good luck.
That
Seriously.
sucks. That to go to a test in another half hour?
You got this. You're Rose.
Come on, oh, carrying her on. Like, you got this.